Welcome. Welcome to the Law Show Extra. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469 or also questions at thelawshow.com. We're going to talk to Bob. Bob, welcome to the Law Show.
Hi, Brian.
What can I do for you?
Thanks for taking my call also.
You're welcome.
Just to add a question about property rights, as far as I have a neighbor's tree, a large oak tree that's growing significantly over my property,
Yep.
and I'm wondering what my rights are as far as trimming that tree or forcing her to trim it.
Well, in general, most states allow you to trim what's on your side of the line, but you got to be really careful because if you kill that tree, then you're responsible for it.
That's what I was told. I live in Elmhurst, Illinois, and even went to the city, and that's what they actually what they said was I should talk to a lawyer, literally.
Right.
And it's not a small tree. That's the problem.
Your best bet is to retain counsel to file a nuisance action against her and get a judge to make her trim it herself or allow you to trim it, which will then hold you harmless from killing that tree in the event that happens, okay? An oak tree is a very cool tree, and they don't grow overnight. They're not like a willow. And so that tree probably has some significant value, and I'd be really, really careful before I proceed on your own. If you want to talk to Brian Russell, my associate in the Chicago office, you're welcome to do that. And just call us at 855-LAW-SHOW during regular business hours, and we'll hook you up, okay?
Okay. Can I ask one other question,
You can ask as many as you want.
Sure. She actually is willing to trim it, but she's saying she's only going to trim the dead branches and not the live ones. And the live ones are actually the ones that are coming over my house.
Well, I think that I think that you should get a lawyer to get a letter out to her right away. Okay, you start with a letter, and that sometimes will scare people into doing what they should normally do. If they don't want to do it, then you can proceed with a lawsuit. Now, that's a costly thing, but if it's causing enough damage to your property, then it's something that's worthwhile, okay?
Right. Okay. Well, thanks.
Just call on Monday and ask for Brian Russell. We'll connect you right to him, okay?
Will do. Thanks
for calling the Law Show. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. We're going to talk to Kathy. Kathy, welcome to the Law Show.
Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
I had won a case in a labor board, and I didn't hear nothing from the prior thing, and then it went over to the state's attorney.
Okay.
It's been like 2 years. I called the state's attorney up, and he told me to call him back in 2 months, and they'll have to refile. Could you tell me what? In other words, I don't get no money?
No. Talk to me about this again. You had a case with the labor board, and you won?
Yes, sir.
And
I won it.
And
she never paid. Okay. And then what happened? They turned around after so many days. They turned around and gave it to the state's attorney.
Okay.
I haven't heard from the state's attorney like in a year and a half.
Okay.
So I called, and they told me they're going to call him back in 2 months because he's going to probably have to refile.
Well, it sounds like the state's attorney dropped the ball. That's really what it sounds like. I don't know exactly what happened, but that's what it sounds like happened. You need to get a better state's attorney. You need to get all over him. Brian Russell in my office can help you get through all that by writing letters to the appropriate authorities and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. You just call us on Monday after hours at the same number you called to get into the Law Show and ask for Brian Russell. Can you do that?
Yes, sir, I can.
All right. Thanks for calling the Law Show, and thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. I want everybody to know that my area that I practice in primarily is injury law. And injury law includes auto accidents, slips and falls, animal attacks, medical malpractice. It doesn't really matter what it is. If you've been injured by somebody else, whether it's a lawyer or a doctor or a driver or a government vehicle or somebody who didn't clean their walks or the CTA, it doesn't really matter. I can handle it. Call me at 855-529-7469, and I'll take good care of you. We're going to talk to Kurt now. I'm going to try to talk to Kurt. There we go. Hey, Kurt, you're on the show. You're on the Law Show.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. I did a rent-to-own thing for a pastor friend of mine, and then he fell into some financial problems, and then he sold the property, and the bank actually said, I had to sign off, and then he kept the lease. The guy bought the property for the same, not what I was paying for it. He paid like $60,000 less, but it was all predicated on the fact that he keeps the lease intact and the terms of the lease. Now, he told me just the other day that he wanted to raise the rent, and my rent was $940, and $440 of it was going to the purchase, for the down payment. I was going to balloon it out in another 6 months.
Okay.
But now the guy wants $1,300 a month. Is he legally able to do that? Raise it, $360?
Is your deal in writing?
Yes.
Well, he can do what's allowed in the written documentation. If that's in there, he can do it. If it's not in there, he can't do it. Okay? So
it's
my
not
question
in there, but now he's trying to tell me that he wants to and all the money to go to principal.
Well,
no.
People in Hades want a cold drink of water. Doesn't mean they're going to get it.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring.
You know what I mean? But you need to listen. If you're going to get into a negotiation like this, you need to arm yourself with good advice. So you need to get in touch with my office. Get in touch with my office. Do you have access to email?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I want you to email me your situation and your contact information. Send it to questions@thelawshow.com, okay?
Okay.
And I'm going to get it over to Scott Decius, who is a very good lawyer on these kinds of cases, and he'll be in touch with you as to what can and cannot happen, okay?
Okay, can I ask one more question?
You can ask as many as you like.
Okay, now I was injured in work in April of last year.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that.
And I've been on workman's comp. I've had 4 surgeries on my hand because I got crushed. Now I'm going for another surgery on my neck and my shoulder. How long do these cases usually last?
Well, it really depends. Some cases go to trial. Some cases go to trial then appeal. Then some cases are settled. It really all depends. But that's not the question that you should be asking yourself. The question you should be asking yourself is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to sit around waiting for them to come and hook you up with a big check? Because my humble suggestion to you is they're never going to do that. They're going to try to put you back to work.
Right.
You've had 4 surgeries on a crushed hand. My guess is that you've got a significant disability. And in Illinois...
Yes, I do. I mean, I got an attorney, but, I was just asking you as long as I had you on the phone,
Are you confident with your attorney?
Well, if I give you his name, would you tell me if he's competent?
Don't give me his name, okay? Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to include all that information in your email to me. Okay? And I'm going to send you back an email of a lawyer that I work with who is probably the best workers' compensation lawyer in all the state of Illinois. His name's Stephen Smalling, and he's got his office out there in Chicago, not far from ours. And I work with him all the time. He's a great lawyer. He's a great guy, and he'll be able to answer all your questions for you. Are you in court yet with this lawyer that you've got?
No, he's been dealing with the insurance company.
Okay.
And because I do get the workman's comp every week, every 2 weeks actually.
It sounds like you may not have a case, and I'm not trying to take you away from a good lawyer, okay? But it sounds like you've got some questions about your lawyer. So if you've got questions about your lawyer, it's your duty to resolve those questions by giving a call to a new lawyer, okay?
Right.
Now, what's the email you're going to send me? What is my email?
Questions@thelawshow.com.
Right, questions@thelawshow.com. You send me your questions about this contract, and you send me your questions about your workers' compensation case, and I promise you I will hook you up.
Good enough. I appreciate it.
Thanks for calling the Law Show. We're going to continue answering all your questions, and now we have Frank on the line. Frank, you're on the Law Show.
Yes, hi. It's Brian, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. It's kind of complicated, but not that complicated. I know in Illinois there's a 5-year statute that's around about collections, doing services for somebody. I'm a retired CPA, and I have people owe me some money. And I know the statute on written is supposed to be 10 years, and an oral is 5 years. But I've talked to some lawyers that gave me some advice. I used to be in an office with lawyers. To make a long story short, I'm not sure if they're right. What I want to do is negotiate with this guy.
Okay.
But, and I don't know if it'll come down to if I have something in writing or not. But if it does, I might lose. But I willing to take that chance. But what I was calling about, Brian, do you have any citations you could tell me in the Illinois Civil Code to look up myself as far as exceptions to the oral code or the written code. Do you have any citations? Like the IRS has code numbers in there.
Yeah, I don't have any.
Would you be able to get that for me?
I don't have any off my cuff right now, but I can certainly get it for you. I'm
Okay,
assuming you have
great.
access to
I
email.
don't have an email, but I have a. If you have a fax, I could fax you something too.
That'd be great. The fax
you need
number.
Something else in writing from me. You can't understand what I'm asking for.
Tell me when you're ready for the fax number.
Okay.
It's 248.
Is it 708 the area code?
No, it's 248. The area code 248.
248 is the area code. Okay, sorry.
248 744
744
4444.
248 744 4444. That's easy to remember. Should I put in writing what I told you then? What I'm looking for? And,
yep. Give me the complete fact pattern.
I'll send it today. Will it be going today? Can it take it any time, or does somebody have to be there to turn that in?
No, not at all. We're fully automatic firm. We're a big firm.
Okay, no.
Just send just send your fax out to us. We'll get it, and we'll get back with you next week.
A lot
Okay.
of times it's unplugged.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Appreciate your help. Have a nice
Thanks
Easter.
for calling the Law Show. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-LAW Show. We're going to talk to Eric now. Eric, you're listening to the Law Show Extra live at thelawshow.com.
Yes, sir.
What can I do for you?
I live in Valparaiso,
Turn your radio
Indiana,
down.
And I own a small business.
Turn your radio down.
Visit
Eric.
several states.
Eric.
Eric. Some of my
turn your radio
some
down.
of my orders come from.
Eric, turn your radio down.
They make my salespeople.
We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. You are listening to the Law Show Extra live at thelawshow.com. We're going to talk to Wendell now. Wendell, welcome to the Law Show.
Thank you, Brian. Basically, my sister and I own a piece of commercial property in one of the small villages, just not too far from the Chicago limits. And it's a parking lot, and this government is trying to eminent domain our place if we don't go along with the offer that they've given us for the property.
Okay, hold on. I want you to start over, Wendell, because this is an important question, okay?
My sister and I own, through a trust, a parking lot that's a commercial parking lot in one of the small villages surrounding the Chicago area.
Okay.
It's been used as a parking lot since 1953.
Right.
For a certain business that's there. Okay? We have maintained upkeep on this property, and the past people that leased out the parking lot have left. Another company has come in, and they have refurbished everything, but without the parking lot, this business will fail. And we've had trouble with the village before trying to put security around our property to keep the public off of it, and the local PD will not, has all the excuses not to allow any type of towing company or any type of barriers from us to keep the public out. Now, they had a board meeting this past Monday, and they've passed all these ordinances to fit the criteria for eminent domain if we don't agree with their price that they want to pay us. We have had the property appraised 2 years ago for a certain price that is like double from what they want to pay us, and now they're threatening us with the eminent domain if we don't respond to their demands. The parking lot is close to a government structure. I won't tell you what kind of government structure it is, but they're saying that there is approximately 265 residents in this place.
Yep.
And they are saying that they need more parking in regards to people gaining access to this government building, which is totally false, because what they're going to do is use this business to use the parking lot, because without the parking lot, the business will not be able to stay open.
All right.
in my
Well, let me
estimation.
just tell you this.
So my questions are: they have given us a letter from a law firm stating that we have to respond to them within 14 days of receipt of their certified letter.
Okay.
If we do not respond, then they will start proceedings per the letter, in circuit court to take away the property under condemnation and their ordinances for that local government.
Right.
My question to you is:
go ahead.
Do you have a eminent domain lawyer that you can give us a phone number?
Yes, we have
limited funds.
We
and
have.
They know it.
We have.
And,
listen.
And it's been in my family since 1953.
Wendell.
Or even before that.
Wendell, listen. Okay, are you there? Hello.
I'm listening.
All right. Eminent domain. You do not need to be a specialist in eminent domain in order to handle eminent domain. What it is a litigation. So the city comes to you and says, "Oh, we're going to condemn this property for public purpose or for public necessity," and the question is whether or not they can actually do that. I don't know that they're going to be able to do that without paying you your fair value. So the questions are two. Number one, can they do it? And more often than not, they'll be able to do it. The question is not whether they can do it, but are they going to be required to pay? Are they going to be required to pay the highest value for the highest and best use for your property? Scott Decius and Brian Russell of my office in Chicago are very good at this kind of thing. And if you have limited means, there are ways for us to handle these things on a contingent fee matter basis, or on a what's called a hybrid, where you pay a certain amount of legal fees and then the rest comes out of a contingent fee. This is a very important case, and I'd love to handle it for you. Can I put you on hold and have Kevin get your phone number?
Yes, sir.
Hold on for just a second, all right? Don't get off the phone because I want to take care of this case for you.
Thank you.
You need a lawyer with a letter going right back at you, okay? So Kevin's going to get the phone number from you, Wendell. Hold on. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855-529-7469. And we have some IRS questions. We just happen to have one of the finest men of taxes available to us right now, and he's going to be answering questions in just a minute. We've got a number of questions that had to do with taxes, and he's going to join us just shortly. His name is John Catoni. He actually makes trips to Chicago frequently to handle people's questions on taxes. And so we've got a couple of questions coming up. We've got a couple of IRS questions. We've got some inheritance taxes questions, and so we're going to answer those just shortly. But we're going to go to Eric first. Eric, welcome to the Law Show.
Sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry that I messed up over there, but I have a question.
You didn't mess up as far as I'm concerned. What's your question?
Okay, I own a small business. I do business in several states, and some of my distributors come to me from my competitor, and they make their salespeople sign a non-compete agreement. The people were fired. They did not quit. Can they legally sell for me?
All right, so there's another company that has salespeople, and they made them sign non-compete agreements, right?
Yes.
And they then fired those people, and now you want to hire them and compete?
Yes. Yes.
The answer is maybe yes and maybe no. I have to look at the agreement first. Does anybody have a copy of the agreement I can look at?
I'm sure I can get it for you.
Yeah, if you can get that for me. And do you have access to an email?
Yes, I do.
Email questions@thelawshow.com with all of your information. Try to scan a copy of that agreement into your email so I can get it over to Scott Decius, and he'll take care of that for you, okay?
Questions@thelawshow.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for calling The Law Show. You are all listening to The Law Show Extra live at thelawshow.com. If you want to ask a question, call us at 855-529-7469. And we're going to go to Tom now. Tom, welcome to the Law Show.
Hi, how's it going?
Doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. I've got a follow-up to the question you had earlier about the school loan stuff.
Okay.
I've had mine with them for a long time. It was a really small loan originally, about $20,000, and I just thoroughly lacked responsibility when I was younger, and I let it build up to the point.
Yeah, you and everybody else.
Well, what they tell me is at Sallie Mae is that they can't work with me in any way, shape, or form unless I'm below the poverty or at the poverty level or somewhere in that vicinity. And then they would consider adjusting my rates. And
what do you think would happen? Hey, Tom, what do you think would happen if the chicken went to the fox and said, "Hey, can you protect me?"
Yeah.
What do you think?
That's true too.
All right, so that's what you did. Don't go to Sallie Mae. Come to the Daily Law Firm. We'll take good care of you. Okay?
Yeah, that was the question, because I've got a job that to the IRS, because of all the write-offs. It's my own business. I make pretty much nothing, although I do pretty well, but after all the write-offs.
That's the way you want to do. You want to do pretty well, but make almost nothing, right, John?
That's correct.
Exactly, and legally, not even pinching any corners. It's just
sure you're not. Nobody pinches corners, huh? And that guy that called earlier, he only had one drink, but he refused to blow.
I just did my taxes on one of those auto sites, and I didn't even do all my write-offs, and I'm still showing a $4,000 loss for last year. So,
all right, well, you don't want to do that. I've got John Catoni here. You've got some IRS questions, right?
To that point, you might want to use all your losses because then you'd have a bigger carryover that could help you in future years.
It's in the trucking industry, which I guess has its own set of laws. Everybody tells me I have to have a CPA who specializes in the trucking industry. Does that sound right to you?
No.
Not necessarily, but you want to make sure you're taking advantage of every legal deduction that's out there.
Yeah, because there are a lot, but it's kind of weird because it's I escort the trucks, so I drive my own car, but I'm in many ways considered like a trucker, but I don't have all the same logbooks and stuff, so there may be some differences.
What is it, a wide load kind of carrier?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Listen, it doesn't matter what your industry is. You got to have a good tax guy. And John Catoni is an enrolled agent with the Internal Revenue Service, which means that in front of the tax court with the IRS, he can do everything that a lawyer can do, without any exception
and
whatsoever.
Even better.
Well, I need a good tax guy because I'm behind a couple of years too. So.
All right. Well, John Catoni's the best guy to get. So, hey, listen, John wants to get in touch with you and talk to you a little bit more in detail. Can I put you on hold, and Kevin will get your phone number to call you back?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Hold on for just a second. We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at The Law Show Extra, live at thelawshow.com at 855-LAW-SHOW. That's 855-529-7469. Tune in right now. Call us with your question. We're going to talk to Robert now. Robert, welcome to The Law Show.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for providing the service.
You're welcome. Go ahead.
I hope I don't talk over you. It's only because it's sometimes hard to hear that you're trying to talk, some of your previous callers. But I have a three-part question regarding inheritance. The first part is a CD and a savings taxable? I was left as a co-owner or payable upon death.
You are inheriting the money? And it's
Yes.
just to see, absolutely not. And, any interest you might make on that money is taxable, but you as getting the money, you are not required to pay taxes.
Okay, thank you. The second part of the question regards my uncle's home. He had it set up as a land trust, with me being the beneficiary. So what do I do with regard to the title?
Now say it again.
Okay, my uncle left my home to me. He had it set up as a land trust agreement, and I am the beneficiary. What do I need to do with regard to the title of the house?
When you say a land trust, do you mean a land contract?
Yeah, a land trust agreement showing the address and the parcel, the PIN for his...
Hello?
Can you hear me?
You're going in and out, but I want to spend the time with you so I understand what's going on. So your uncle left you his house in a will?
Well, in a will, and also he set it up as a land trust agreement.
Well, if the trust has the property, and by the way,
Which it does.
I got to look at the trust before I can see it. Did he make you the beneficiary of the trust?
Yes.
And who is the trustee?
Well, that's a good question. I think I am.
All right. Under normal circumstances, you can put a piece of property in a trust and avoid probate, but only for a life and being plus a certain number of years, okay? I think it's 21.
Okay.
A life and being plus 21. So eventually that trust has to break down. I don't think your uncle did you any favors, because what he should have done is he should have quit claim deeded that home to you and to him as
He did do that. He also did that too.
well, then you want to forget about that trust if you can. If he deeded it to the trust, then you forget about the trust and you take the deed, the quitclaim deed, down to the Register of Deeds, and that becomes your home along with a copy of his death certificate. But I don't want you to do anything until we have a chance to look at all your documentation, because it's too treacherous for you to act on your own, because I've never heard of what your uncle just did. He's actually following two different paths to try to avoid probate, and he may end up in probate simply because he wanted to wear a belt and suspenders, okay?
I see. Okay.
So what I want you to do is...
So I can fax this to you?
You can fax it or email it to us, and fax number is 248-744-4444. Or you can email it to questions@thelawshow.com. Can you scan it into an email?
I could do that, sure.
Yeah, scan it to an email and send it to questions@thelawshow.com. All right?
Okay. And the third part of that, the three-part question, is regarding doing work on the home.
Okay.
Trying to get a permit to work on the home, work in the home. What do I need to do? Because I'm getting a little bit of static from the city of Norridge.
Why are they saying that they won't give you a permit?
No, they're saying that that the owner has to be on the site while the work is being done, and I thought that's unusual.
You're trying to be your own contractor?
Well, actually, yes, indirectly I am. It's my son and a couple of his friends that are good at what they do are doing the work on the inside.
I think that they can require you to be on the premises as a contractor while the work is being done. If you're playing the role of a contractor and hiring subcontractors, then I think you're pretty well stuck in that way. You're going to have to do that, okay? But maybe there's a different way to approach it. So include that in your email to us, all right?
I will do that.
Very good. Thanks for calling the Law Show.
Thank you very much.
We're going to continue answering all your legal questions at 855 Law Show, because you're listening to the Law Show Extra live at thelawshow.com at 855 Law Show.